Sunday, and how content would you be with that being your group for at least a foreseeable future?
I would say that there's a good chance that the team that I start on Sunday would be the team I start for a while. Obviously, it would depend upon how it unfolds before our eyes. You know, do we play well? Do we play with chemistry? That kind of thing. Still tinkering with it a little bit. Obviously, there's some guys that are pretty obvious that are going to be in the starting lineup, others not so much.
How about your rotation? Do you kind of have a little feel for that? If we go 8 to 9 to start out?
At least 10.
10 or 12, 10?
At least 10. Yeah, maybe 11, but at least 10.
Have you kind of thought about the redshirt possibilities?
Yeah. We can play first-year guys Sunday and still redshirt them. Not second-year guys or third-year guys. So any decision on redshirting won't be made until after Sunday's game. Because I don't plan on redshirting anybody other than a freshman. Unless, of course, they got injured, and hopefully that won't happen.
Eric May, right now, you're starting 3, or are you still playing, messing around?
Possibility. Yeah, possibility. He's played well enough to be in the starting lineup. I've been very, very happy with Eric May. He's kind of doing everything you would expect him to do when he's healthy, but he's doing more off the dribble. He's shooting the ball well. Really showing great leadership. Playing like a senior, the only senior we have. He's playing like that, so it's possible that he would be in the starting lineup. But the thing about him, whether he's starting or not, he's probably going to have about the same role. He's going to be an integral part of what we're doing. He may be more comfortable coming off the bench, getting the same amount of minutes, and bringing energy and experience off the bench. We'll see.
Based on, I know you played a scrimmage Sunday in practice sense, and where's your defense? Is it making progress, or is it still working?
Better than it was, not where it needs to be by any means. But when you have more people that can come in and be fresh, that can only help your defense. I mean, you're looking for 2 areas. Number one, obviously, is improvement in technique, but then also improvement in intensity level. And sometimes, your lack of defensive intensity is not a result of kids not wanting to do it. It's fatigue. And so it's funny because we played a lot of guys on Sunday, and you would think that some of them, that we kept taking them out, put them in, take them out, and you'd think some guys would maybe be a little miffed about how many minutes he got or how many minutes he didn't get. Nobody was complaining because they were coming out when they were tired, and they went back in when they were rested, and that was better for us.
That's the first time you've been able to do that here, isn't it?
First time I've been able to do it, because otherwise we had too much trouble scoring. I mean, I'd have certain guys on the floor, or else didn't matter what we did on defense, we couldn't make a basket. We just couldn't leave Matt out there by himself. We had to have some other pieces around him, guys who could make shots.
What can you say about the scrimmage? Just how important was it? What did you learn?
I can speak generally about it, right, Matt?
Yeah.
No specific point totals or scores and that kind of stuff. I would say this. It was substantially better performance than the last time we played them, to say the least. And I thought we were very fortunate to be able to get them to play. That doesn't always work. A lot of programs, put those 2 games on their season ticket package. So you can't get a team that's ranked in the top 15. They're anywhere from 9 to 15, depending where you look. They've got 2 pros legitimately, without question. I think the big fella is in the best shape I've ever seen him. I coached against him when he was at Rutgers, and the transformation in him has been tremendous. Credit to him and to Greg and his staff. McDermott, still one of the best players in the country, maybe a first-team All-American again, I'm sure. We did a better job on him, paid more. I would say essentially did a better job from a technical standpoint, also rotated some guys on. And then you 10 of the first 15 points of the game last year, 12 of the first 15, something like that. And this time around, he wasn't quite like that. So I was pleased with overall what we were able to accomplish. The beauty of a game like that is this: you know, you play a game, and then you can do some situations, and you can, you know, I'm not worried about subbing players in and keep players. I didn't start Devin Marble in the second half, you know, because I just wanted to get some other guys in there. You know, if it was a regular game, I would have. And that's kind of how you approach it. And I don't know if he, you know, left some of his starters on the bench longer than he would have, knowing this game was close, that type of thing. But it's not what that day was about. It was trying to figure out who can play and who's ready and who's not ready and what combinations might work from a lineup standpoint. Can we press effectively a good team? Can we do that? Because we tried to press them last year and it was a non-factor in the game. Well, it was a factor in the game on Sunday. It was very effective. And that's a good sign. So there's a lot of good signs. We made some mental errors at some crucial points. That is a little upsetting. But that's why you do it, because you put them in a position so hopefully they won't make that same mistake the next time you're in that situation. The same people. I thought our young kids performed extremely well. I'm very pleased with that. We had some tremendous individual performances. Without getting into it, you know, just phenomenal individual performances, which were very encouraging. And you know, when it was over, I think it was one of those things where both programs could look and say that was a worthwhile experience for both of us.
When you talk about Woodbury going head-to-head with Echenike, I mean, that's got to be a great learning tool for him, knowing the centers he's going to face week in and week out.
It was great. You know, and he's a handful, because what he does is he knows how to use his body, and he's whereas he used to tire early in his career, now he's just sort of relentless. He just constantly wears you out with that frame, and he plays with it himself. He scores in the post. He doesn't try to do what he can't do, and ultimately he puts up numbers. And Woodbury started, I mean, from the very beginning, was banging with him, you know, and really made it hard on him. Didn't back down from him physically. Woodbury is fearless, and that's what you need to see. Because let's face it, last year Echenike had his way with us. I mean, absolutely had his way. He could have done whatever he wanted to do, and that wasn't the case. Now, he still played pretty well, but he had to work a lot harder. And we had a low post presence in that game. And that's going to be very important for us as we move forward. That's what we need. And low post presence doesn't mean you throw it in there and he scores. Low post presence means you throw it in there and good things happen. Whether it's a bucket, a move, a post feed kick out to the weak side for three, hitting a cutter, you know, collapsing the defense. I mean, there's any number of things, but it's one of the things where Woody's really good.
Is there anybody in the last couple of weeks that have kind of raised their stock that you're going to have to get some minutes for them because they're hustling?
No, it's been about, no, I wouldn't say that. I would say everybody's been pretty consistent there. Yeah.
What are the challenges of having 10 or 11 players in a rotation? That's quite a few.
The challenges are very simple. There's going to be a guy or two occasionally that thought he was going to play 28 minutes or 32 minutes, and he plays 16 or 14, and you know, are they going to be satisfied? Are they going to accept that role? Is that going to be a problem? You know, and that's a personal thing. And it might be that they play 8 in a particular game. And the flip side of that is, you know, if they only play 8, are they going to be ready for the next game? Forgetting about whether or not they were upset about it, or am I getting enough minutes to actually develop them? So it's a two-sided issue there. So it was not a problem on Sunday. I don't anticipate it being a problem most of the time. At some point, probably going to be a problem. We'll just deal with it at the time. You know, we've been lucky, and we hope we stay healthy as we have been. But that obviously would impact what your question was all about. You know, somebody gets banged up, somebody can't play. We got 3 or 4 guys banged up, nobody to the point where they wouldn't practice or wouldn't play.
Going into Sunday, obviously the competition is completely different. I mean, how do you envision play in this? Is this just going to be, and again, just kind of throwing people in, just seeing what they do in certain situations, or play it like a real game?
We would, anytime we're in that situation, we're trying to win the game. So we'll go at it like we're trying to win the game. I might be slightly more flexible as the game goes on to play different combinations, but not to the point that we would risk losing the game. You know, we have to, you put the uniforms on, you put people in the building, we're keeping score. You know, the focus has to be on what do we have to do to win. And that's kind of where it will be. And it'll be the same for them. They'll come in here, and they'll try to play well. And this team won 18 games last year. They didn't play well against Notre Dame. So they're going to come in with a terrific coach. And they're going to come in with a game plan and try to play a lot better than they did the other night. So hopefully we'll be ready for that.
Is Marble taking over the Gaten's role and the go-to guy? Right
Yeah,
now?
but he should. I mean, that should be what he's thinking, and that's kind of how we're going to use him. And hopefully he'll be able to do that very consistently.
Because you have so many young guys, how important are these exhibition games?
Oh, they're incredibly important. You know, these young guys are going to play, so you know, they just got to get out there and get their feet wet. They got to get out there and make mistakes, and they got to be able to run stuff against other people that are taking things away, because the sophistication of the scouting as we move forward is going to get more and more intense. So if you come down and try to run something, they're going to take it away from you. They're going to take it away from you in terms of what your skill set is, and then what they know that we're going to do. So then it comes down to you got to go make plays, and you got to know when to stay in it, when to break it off and go make a play. And that's hard to do sometimes. Your freshmen are trying to impress and trying to be rock solid, but when it's all said and done, you've got to go make plays. And when you play for me, that's what I want you to do. You know, but at the same time, you've got to recognize the appropriate time to do so. I thought Cassell and Clemens in particular were very good. Clemens had 1 or 2 too many turnovers, but they won't be turnovers that he has moving forward, but he did Sunday, and he learned from it, and he'll make the adjustment. He'll have another opportunity to do that this Sunday before we play a game that counts.
Coach, you see Aaron White at the 3 spots on this Sunday?
He'll be there some, yeah. He'll be there some. And he'll go back and forth.
How's that progress?
Good. You know, he's obviously didn't guard any 3 men last year, so he's got to do that out on the floor. Guys are going to take him off the dribble more than 4s and 5s. He played 4 and 5 last year. Offensively, it's really not an issue. Occasionally, you'll get a 6'4", 6'3", 3-man and try to get up in him, but he just then uses his length and typically doesn't have a problem. But he was real good on Sunday in the second half. He didn't play well in the first half.
Can Zach play the 4 then, or will he mostly play the 3?
Zach will play both. He's a better 4 or 5. But as we saw last year, I mean, the kid gave us everything he had. You know, as a 6'7", 5 in this league, it's not easy. But he's smart and tough. He's a better post player than he is a perimeter player, even though he's arguably maybe our best shooter.
Pat Ingram came in, wasn't here during the summer, came in late, was hurt a little bit. You said he was behind. Still behind. Where does he kind of fit in? Is he down at the end?
He's not in the top 10 right now.
Okay.
He's going to be good, though. It's just taking him a little longer. And he's trying. He's really working at it.
Yeah, I guess with Matt gone, you have kind of a void in outside shooting, and I guess Josh is kind of the obvious choice to step into that role. And what does he need to do to fill that role as a go-to perimeter shooter?
Well, we'll go to him. I mean, he can do that. He just has to keep firing. He's an interesting player in that sense, because much as he's a great shooter, he really likes to pass. He gives the ball up a lot. He gives it up easy. So we need him to be a little more aggressive with his thinking. Shot the ball extremely well from minute 1 this preseason. Made a couple threes on Sunday. He made a couple in key situations, that type of thing. We have other guys that can shoot it. Obviously, Marvel we talked about. McCabe might be our best shooter. Aaron White substantially improved in that area. Cassell's a terrific shooter. Clemens can make a three. We got, I think a lot of people that can soften the blow. Matt's three-point shooting, but anytime you have a guy that made him when he did, that's two different things. Making a three and making a three when they're in your face and it's 67, 66 and there's a minute 10 to go. Two different things. He drilled them in those situations. Somebody's got to be that guy. I got plenty of guys that can make threes. Are they going to make them net?
And you've talked before about how he needs to look for his shot. And I guess as a coach, how much can you help a player get to where they are that aggressive?
We've been helpful. I mean, we've tried it a number of different ways. I mean, one day it was actually about 2 weeks ago now, we ripped his face off because he kept turning shots down, and we were tired of looking at it. And he's a funny kid. I mean, you have to love him. He gets his funny look on his face, then he made the next 8 in a row. And I said, no, Josh, I love you, but do I have to yell at you to get you to make 8 threes in a row? With his game, with his complete approach to this game. He knows how to play. He's a coach's son. He can handle it. He can pass it. He's usually in the right place, whether it's on defense or on offense. And he wants to help his team win games. And we have just consistently wrestled with him to just sort of play with a little more reckless abandon and just start firing. But he's never going to be that guy that just starts jacking. He's not. And I respect that about him. But very few players at this level have the ability to make 7 or 8 threes in a row in any kind of environment. And he has that. He's got a gift there, and we got to get it out of him.
Do you sense that so many people want Iowa basketball to be good again, and they have their optimism right now? They're kind of forgetting what a big role Matt played and how hard and how easy it would be this team maybe take a little step back, filling that void.
Well, we are very young. Whenever you say we have 87% of our offense back, I think that's the number. You don't think of yourself as being young, we were addressing the starting lineup. I mean, there's a very good chance there'll be 2 freshmen in that, Sunday and from that point forward. Anytime you have 2 freshmen in the starting lineup, and White's going to be in there, that. He's a sophomore, and we're playing a lot of sophomores. And we've got a couple juniors that are good. So when you have youth, filling in for a guy who was such an incredible gamer, things change. And as well as we played down the stretch, and you could clearly argue that, in particular, the Indiana and Wisconsin wins were clearly on Matt's shoulders. And that really helped us moving forward because he got such incredible attention defensively. Others stepped up when they had opportunities and space to do something. So you got a different dynamic now. He's not there. And so I think Marble has the same kind of confidence and approach that Matt had. I know I'm good. I'll stay within the framework of what we designed, and I'll be effective in that role. He's going to score in different ways than Matt did, and that's okay. But a lot will fall on the shoulders of Mike Cassell and Anthony Clemens playing that point guard position. They play like freshmen, then we won't be as effective because you always forget. Everybody talks about we lost Matt. We lost Bryce Cartwright too. He was a senior, and he'd been through the wars. And yeah, he didn't defend, but he was pretty good on offense. He led the Big Ten in assists. Not a lot of people can say that. And when he was healthy last year, we were pretty good. And so we lost 2 key people. Whenever you have 2 senior guards, that's usually a recipe for a team that has a chance to be really good. And, we're going to probably have, if you think about it, we'll have 2 freshmen, a sophomore, and a junior playing in the backcourt most of the year. So you don't know how it's going to end up. I think those kids are smart enough and tough enough to be really good, but we gotta wait and see.
You look at Devin, came in as a young 17-year-old, raw athlete, didn't fit in very well. Maybe his freshman year, just started to play a little bit better at the end of the year. Last year really seemed to take a couple of steps. Can he take that next step from an 11-point-a-game scorer to 17?
He will, yeah, he definitely will. And he's gonna be up way above that. I'd be shocked if he wasn't. He's got a game, and he's got confidence, and he's got a body. You could see it, like you said, at the end of his freshman year, we moved him into the starting lineup. He was making big shots for us. He's not afraid of the limelight in a big game. He wants that, and so he's going to have that opportunity. We're going to go to him. He's going to have the green light. And a lot of nights he's going to take more shots than anybody else. And he's going to make them.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Coach.
Yep.